All right, so what we're doing is a continuous contour. Sorry that I lifted my hand. Now, I'm looking out into the subject, and remember, the activity is a slow, continuous line. No sketching, no erasing, no lifting your hand. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to draw what you see in front of you very slowly. And if you make mistakes, that's okay. Just go ahead and go backwards. Like I just made a little bit of a mistake. And what I did is I went backwards and I stopped at a certain point. And now I'm reconnecting. And now, like I said, there's a section of this room that I'm doing right now. You're not going to be able to tell what the heck it is that I'm drawing at first. And then eventually it will all come to fruition what it is that I'm drawing. You guys are not in the room. And if you make mistakes, it's okay. It's supposed to happen. You know, little mistakes here and there are, I mean, you're drawing with a pen. Drawing with a pen is difficult. It's not an easy task. So, you know, I would be wrong to take off, let's say, for, oh my goodness, you didn't draw this line straight enough, or you didn't do this, you know. No, this is supposed to be something where you're going to go in and you're going to do your best with this continuous line. You're going to take your time. You're not going to lift your hand. You're going to go slow, looking at the subject as though you're tracing the track of a trail of an ant that's crawling on the subject. Okay? And then if you have to retrace and retract, just go back. You guys, don't tell me when I'm off camera. Hello. Say, Shaker, you're off camera.
You're on camera.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, now I am. A few minutes ago, I wasn't on camera, which makes me wonder, are you guys paying attention? I hope you are, because this is what you're going to be doing. If you're not paying attention, you won't know what the heck to do. Now I'm going to come across this way. Like I said, you make mistakes, let the mistakes happen. Or you want to retract, retrail, that's fine. Okay? Come back over it. Do what you got to do. All right? Slowly and surely, you'll get what it is that you're drawing. It may not be, you know, perfect. It'll be close, but not quite. And, you know, because, you know, you're not able to pick up your hand. You're not able to check the angles. You're not able to do all these things that, you know, that I've been training you to do. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Now I can't do this. I can't do that. What? Okay. So now you're going to go in and you're going to do the best that you can. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, and then back here I see just this little thing here. And then I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to take it across. See, have I lifted my hand at all? Have I lifted? Hello?
You have not.
Exactly. I have not lifted my hand. The only time I lifted my hand is if I had to videotape. If you guys remember, a few minutes ago, I was not on camera. I was not videotaping. I was like, oh no, I got to get this for YouTube. And you'll make mistakes. Mistakes are obvious. It's natural. It's supposed to happen. You're going to wind up going, you know, in the wrong area, and that's okay. Let it be. Let it happen. Okay? Those mistakes are valid. They're just learning. It's a learning experience. If you wind up making a mistake, it's okay. Let yourself breathe a bit. Now, and you won't be able to lift your hand for 60 minutes, okay? So put the timer on, all right? I know you guys got phones. I know you have cell phones, and you've got timers on your cell phones. So go ahead and use the timer. And you're going to be doing this for 60 minutes, okay? I'm doing the corner of the room here, and there's the door in the classroom. Now, this is where it starts to get a little fancy, because there's a table here. There's like an area in the classroom that goes all the way down to here. And you know, my tendency is to check the angle and do all these things that I've been trained to do, and I can't do that. I have to keep my pen down. So like I said, you're gonna make mistakes, things will happen, and you won't be able to do the things that you normally did do. So like I said, slowly but surely you'll get these, and try to do as much detail as you can do, meaning that if you see it, try to do it. If you don't see it, then that's okay. And now I see like right here, I've got a bunch of spray cans sitting next to one another. That's what this area here is. But then in front of the spray can area, I've got what we call a light box, and that light box is right here. Actually, I went a little too far on one area, so I'm going to stop it right there. And then there's another light box that's over here. So luckily the line that I just made is acceptable, okay? And it disappears behind here. And yeah, I got a lot of action going on in this room. There's a lot of stuff here. So I have a lot of things. And like I said, you can't check the angles, and it's frustrating because you're now trained to check angles. You're trained to do all of this that we talked about, but you can't do that now. Now you have to think it out. Now you have to look at it and determine, okay, is it going back? Is it coming out to you? What is going on? And you have to make that decision, and you have to make it in a few minutes. So I haven't lifted my hand at all. And I want you looking at your subject, paying careful attention to what's there, going slow, trying to get the angles that you see to your best ability, okay? And it won't come out looking perfect. It'll look okay. But make sure everything is together and everything is where it kind of should be, I should say, the best that you can do. All right, so now here is where I see the end of the door. So now, now I'm going back into where I kind of started. I can't make this out, but I'm going to do the best that I can in making out what the heck that is up there. I know it's the part of the door that opens and closes. There's this little chamber. I forget what it's called. I forget the name of it. So this right here that I'm doing, and I only did, you're going to do it for 60 minutes. I did it for a little less time. I think that was maybe, let me see my timer. Yeah, it was, this was 8 minutes so far. And just in 8 minutes, I got a lot, but there's a heck of a lot more in the room, okay? So you're going to do a 60-minute, and this is my 8-minute composition, okay? So you can only imagine what a 60-minute is going to be, okay? 60 minutes is 1 hour. You're going to be working, and you're going to be trying your best to not lift your hand. Now let's say by mistake you do lift, okay? Put it back down in that same spot, okay? And begin again. All right, go real slow, the best of your ability, looking out into wherever it is. And like I said, you're gonna make mistakes. Let the mistakes be. Don't try to erase them. Let them happen, okay? Just let it flow and let it happen as it will. Like I just made a mistake with the door, the distance of the door. The door over here stops right there. How do I know? Because that little metal piece that's on the door stops right here. So there's a foreshortened view there that I did not draw, okay? Because like I said, remember, you can't stop and check angles, so all that frustration with checking angles is out the door. You can't do that now. So now I'm getting over to this area. Now there's a fire light whatever the heck that is. When fires go off in this room, that little light starts flashing. That's what this is. And then there's a thing here, a conduit here for electricity, something for wires. And then it stops here, and now there's a bulletin board that is right here. And like you see, a few minutes ago, I drew that line. That line is not there. That line is supposed to be where I just now made it. Now, another thing that's happening is that there's a board, and that board goes here, and it's in front.
The video to me has stopped.
Thank you.
Okay, never mind.
Thank you. Please let me know when I'm off camera. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Because like I said, I can't see what's on camera, okay? Because like right now, my eyes are looking towards my drawing, okay? Yeah, and I'm looking, see, another thing too, I'm intently looking at my subject. I'm looking at my drawing, looking at my subject, looking at my drawing. It's like a back and forth motion. My eyes are going up and down and up and down and up and down. That's what my eyes are constantly doing as I'm working. Now, there's a lot of confusion over here. I have 3 drawings on a board. Okay, and that board is on an easel, and then in front of the easel is another drawing. So it's a lot of stuff going on over here, a lot of chaos, a lot of things to draw, so to speak. And this gets a little confusing. See an angle here. And then there's a painting on there. On the piece of board, there's a painting, and I'm just going to quickly do a little something of the painting. I'm not going to go so crazy and the discipline of each and every part, let's say, but I'm trying to stay as continuous as possible. And another thing too, when you do this activity, try to make sure that the room is real quiet, okay? If you got to put in something in your ears so that way you can draw and that you can sound out what's around you, because what you're doing, believe it or not, is something called hand-eye mind control. That's what this is called. Okay, so your hand, mind, and your eye are working together. So whenever that's happening, it's kind of hard. Even me talking right now, it's creating a problem as I draw. I'm not able to think out everything as carefully as I could have. Like, let's say if I did this real quiet, the drawing would probably come out a heck of a lot better. Okay. If I was quiet while doing this. So I'm going to stop there because right there I think is a good example of what this quote-unquote continuous contour is, okay? Now that's just the continuous contour drawing, okay? I didn't lift my hand. I only lifted in that one area where I told you in case it does happen, you can do this. Now, next one I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna do a lot of it, okay? I'm gonna do what we call the modified contour, okay? Modified contour, sorry, I forget how to spell sometimes. My artistic brain kicks in and I forget everything. All right, now we're modified, okay? It's a little different. Now, like, okay, let's say I'm gonna draw this cup that's in front of me. I go slow and continuous as possible. As much as I can, I'm going to try to keep it, like I said, continuous. But guess what? I could lift my hand and I could put it back down again. Now, it's almost just like the contour, but the only difference is now I could lift my hand, put it back down again. All right, now again, what is that called? That's the modified contour. Okay, that's the one, as a matter of fact, if you guys remember when we were looking at the student samples, that was the one where the artist, it was a boy that the person drew, and the eyes were connected and then the background was connected. And you'll make mistakes here too. I mean, it's natural. Like I just made a mistake on the shape. And this belly's out a bit more, so that's okay. Go back in, change it. You have to make corrections, go ahead and do so. Lift your hand, put it back down again, okay? Another thing too, with modified, if you want to, you could change your colors, which could be kind of fun, okay? Like let's say I draw and I stop, and then I'll go ahead and pick up with a color, let's say, and I'll decide that in my background, when I draw this part, I'm gonna work with my purple marker, okay? And try to get as much detail as possible too, okay? More detail, the better, because it tells me that you're looking intently at your subject, okay? I wanna see as much detail as you can. Now here I'm gonna lift my hand, and if you want to, go ahead and use another color when you do it. That can make it kind of fun, you know, and colorful if you want. It's up to you. I'll let you make that decision. Now again, that's gonna be another 60-minute modified. Okay, but like I said, with modified, you could lift your hand, and if you want, you could change colors. This would just make it a little bit more exciting, okay, as you work. Does that make sense? Any questions about the modified contour? I could lift my hand, I could put it back down again. I could change colors if I want to, okay? I could go in, I could stop at a certain point. That's my marker that I have on the table. And I could lift my hand and put it back down, okay? So, and then, oh, shadows and stuff, if anybody wants to do shadows, you can. They're kind of repetitive lines, kind of like that. That could be a shadow, okay? And let's say over here, I don't have to keep it continuous, but I can, okay? It's up to you. Does that make sense? Everybody? Hello, hello? All right, so that was contour and modified contour, all right? Now, tell you what, I'm gonna stop there, okay? I'm not gonna go on to gesture, because gesture is a little bit more time. Now, so you've got the modified and you've got the continuous contour. Now, oh, one more. Let me do the blind contour, okay? Blind is, just like I said, your hand is covered. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work with my paper so that my hand's covered. Now, I know this sounds weird, okay, and I'll pick up a pen, pencil, whatever, like I said, whatever it is that you wanna use. I'm gonna use this purple crayon, and what I'm gonna do, hold on a second, I'm gonna find an area that I haven't drawn on. Actually, let me do it on another, no, we'll do it on here, okay. Mind you, okay, I'm using this strictly to cover my hand, okay? So I'm looking, all right, let's go into an area, let me find an area. Okay, I'll do the tables over here, all right. So I'm looking intently at the subject. I can't look at my paper. My hand is covered while I draw. I'm looking intently at my subject, and I'm trying my best to draw it the way I see it. It's the table that's in front of me, and I know this is gonna come out so weird, okay? It's not gonna be perfect, and I know it, because that would require much time and patience, and not only that, but it's better if you don't talk. When you do this particular activity, it's a heck of a lot better. It comes out looking so much closer to the subject. And you can't lift your hand. There's no way, not with blind contour. And like I said, it's gonna be disjointed. It'll be close to what you see in front of you, but it will be disjointed. I promise you. It will not look like the subject that you're drawing. It will, I mean, you might get something close, but you're not gonna get it looking as close to what it is. And now I'm gonna stop because I know my table is probably so disjointed. So if you see what I just did here, okay, I basically had a table that's far away from me, okay, And if you look carefully, here's the top of the table. This was okay. This is not bad. I must have been thinking about proportion here. And this is under the table. Under the table, there's legs. So this is one leg and this is the other leg. You see how disjointed they are? This is supposed to be over here. This is supposed to be over here in this direction. So it's kind of like I slanted the table a bit, okay, which is kind of funny, all right? So here's that table, here's the leg of the table, here's like the dimension of the table, and then here's the lower part of the table. And again, what is that called? That's called the blind contour drawing, okay? Now, again, let's kind of review, all right? So remember the first drawing, which is a contour drawing, or we also call it continuous contour. That's not lifting, okay? Your hand is continuously going from one to the other line, all right? And then the modified contour, okay, you are lifting your hand. And I don't mind that if you lift your hand, you could switch a color. That'd be kind of fun if you're working with colors. Now, last and final is the blind contour, okay? Now, what I've done on King's and what I've done on your, I'll stop there.